What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 85. My name is Bret, aka Enigma 9011, and today I'm joined once again by Steve, aka Supermander27. How's it going, Steve?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you hopping in on here, especially last minute. I was like, oh, shit, I need a guest. Hey.
Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
If you guys want to catch this podcast live, you can go over to twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every other Saturday, where it's up there at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat, join on the conversation. We'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. You can catch it the following week, where it's placed on YouTube and SoundCloud, topic by topic, and as one big MP3 and video for your amusement. And last but not least, hashtag ad. Remember, you can get all of your merch and swag over on the merch store. You get all of your t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more over there. Rep the brand, support us. It would be greatly appreciated. So yes, we got a big wrestling weekend extravaganza coming up in April, as always. So I kind of want to get another wrestling fan in, talk a little about the event before it actually happens. Sometimes I have a bad habit of recording it before it happens, but then on YouTube it comes out after it happens. It's like, this is weird. But we're going to be ahead of the curve this time. So we're going to be talking some NXT TakeOver. We're going to be talking some WrestleMania, talking about the card as of recording on March 27th, what's going on, our thoughts about the matches, and maybe some predictions of who we think will win. There'll probably be some matches that we kind of go a little bit more in depth on. Some we'll kind of breeze over, especially of how the booking's been going. But yeah, let's start with NXT TakeOver. So TakeOver this year, Stand and Deliver. Not happening on a Saturday. I think they've been doing this with takeovers recently. We had the In Your House takeover that happened on a Wednesday to kind of compete with AEW. And then we might have had one other one. So they might be breaking away from that tradition of Saturdays, which I kind of don't like. But we're going with a Wednesday, Thursday this year. So as of recording, right now we have, what should I say, 4 matches on night 1 and 4 matches on night 2. I don't see this changing all that much, to be honest, but we'll see. So for
card subject
exactly
to change.
As always. So night 1, April 7th. Right now we have the Gauntlet Eliminator match. The winner of that match will get an NXT North American title shot on night 2. Participants are Pete Dunne, Dexter Lumis, Bronson Reed, Kushida, LA Knight, Roderick Strong, Austin Theory, Cameron Grimes, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Tyler Rust, Leon Ruff, and Jake Atlas. Jesus Christ. Okay, so we got that. We have the NXT Tag Team Championship match, which is a triple threat. These are now, who's holding them? What's the joke that everybody puts? Okay, nobody has them right now due to injury. So we have MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. We have the NXT UK Championship, Walter defending against Tommaso Ciampa.
I like that.
And then we got the NXT Women's Championship, Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah.
For night 2, Thursday the 8th, we have the ladder match for the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion. We have Santos Escobar versus Jordan Devlin. We have the NXT North American Championship, Johnny Gargano versus the winner of the Gauntlet Eliminator. We have an unsanctioned match between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. And then we have the NXT Championship match, Finn Balor defending against Karrion Kross with Scarlett in his corner. Whew, so a lot of interesting matches going on. So we're going to start with night 1. We have those 4 matches. Was there any that I read out that kind of caught your attention? It seemed like maybe the UK title match piqued your interest.
Well, I love Walter. I mean, he's my kind of guy, old school wrestler, the chops, the strength, the power, the simplicity, but everything means something. I love it. And then for them to bring in one of the, pleasant local homeless people to face him, I'm only kidding, but Tommaso's beard is incredible. But no, all kidding aside, I think that could definitely be match of the night. I really do. It depends how long they go.
Right.
You know, if we're talking like a 2-minute squash match just to make a point, you know, I would give these guys some time, 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
You know, but I think that has the potential to be one hell of a match. I think Walter has to go over, but we'll see.
Right.
You know, I mean, it depends what they want to do, but you know, we'll get to LA Knight later, but nothing surprises me anymore. But we'll see. My money's on Walter for that match.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting, like, how they're treating Walter. Like, don't get me wrong, he definitely is this dominant force. He's held this title. The UK title's been a weird one. I think Tyler Bate had it for like a hot second. Then Pete Dunne had it for almost 2 years, and now Walter's, I think, surpassed Pete Dunne's like run of 2 years. I could be wrong about that. Yeah. So like, they're having some long ass reigns here, and not that I don't have faith in Tommaso taking out Walter. It's just, it's weird because Walter obviously being in the UK brand, like he's sticking over there mainly. I'm surprised he's over here in the first place doing anything. I think he did something. Maybe at one point, I think he popped up somewhere beforehand. But, yeah, I don't... Unless they're going to bring Tommaso over to the UK show to kind of try and boost that show, because I'm not sure what their audience is, numbers-wise. I don't see Walter losing this one. But then it's just like, I don't know where they're going to go with that brand, if that makes sense. Like... It's
exactly.
Just kind of
Does Tommaso go overseas?
Right.
You know, what are we gonna do here? I'm almost wondering if it's just like a kind of a move just to pump up the NXT UK brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It seems like they need it. It's not like they don't have talent over there, but like even personally, me, I'm like, I don't really care to watch it. I think I watched the first NXT UK takeover, and that was it. Yeah. I haven't watched anything else, so.
Yeah, exactly.
And they tried it with Finn too. Like they brought him over there for like a minute, it seemed.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They just didn't commit to it or what happened, but
yeah, I agree. Yeah, so Walter across the board.
I think so. Yeah.
Prediction.
Yeah. You said, it's going to be solid match, like for sure. There's no debate against that. I don't think it'll be the squash. I think with each the takeovers, like they at least give everybody time. And if it does stay this way, like we think, where they don't add anything, like 4 matches per night, you got the 2-hour window. Like, I mean, not that you're going to give everybody a half hour, but, you know, you got that time to kind of work with. So, one I'm interested in about is this tag team triple threat. Because obviously they had to kind of mix this up with, was it Danny Burch? I think he got a shoulder injury. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. Do we fast track MSK right to the top? Because they did technically win the Dusty Cup, so like this shot was already theirs. Right. So I think I think it makes sense that they would be the favorites here, because if I assume normal plans, it would have been them versus Lorcan and Burch, and then they would have gone over. So I don't know if the change with the injury will change the results, or if they're obviously just throwing these teams in here because we need people. We got the history with the grizzled young veterans from the tournament. Legado del Fantasma is an interesting throw in there. I haven't seen those guys in a while, but I know they got some skill. I don't know if they have that much traction behind them fan-wise, but it's going to be an interesting one how all those pieces kind of fit together.
Right. Yeah.
So, and also I think Wesley broke his hand like a month ago, so I hope that's 100%. He's not just going in there with a busted hand. But, so,
I'd be surprised if it's any level of seriousness. WWE, one thing you could say about them is, for the most part, especially in the last couple of years, they definitely cracked down a little bit more on injuries. To their credit.
True.
You know, I'll give credit where it's due on that. You know, they really, they've done a pretty decent job of that. Or like they'll stop matches if they notice something, for the most part. True. So I think of his hands, any sort of if there's anything going on there, hopefully they just kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So you mentioned LA Knight earlier. So you got a lot of traction with LA Knight. I'm forgetting his, was it Eli? No, not Eli Drake. It was Eli Drake?
Eli Drake. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So are you pulling for him for this North American title shot?
Did you say Bronson Reed was in this?
Yeah, him and LA Knight have been doing a mini feud these past 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those two. I'll tell you, Bronson Reed, I've been more aware of him lately than I have in the past. Mm-hmm. That guy he's like a big Samoa Joe, and that says a lot. I mean, he's got star power written all over him. It's just a question of, how they kind of, like I was watching him today, on this recent, because I had to catch up on NXT a little bit. And he looks good. Yeah. Like, he looks really good. What concerned me, though, is they just did this, build up for LA Knight. They brought him in. I'm going to take over. Yeah. And then he loses.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a strange booking. I almost think he'll come back and win this tournament. I don't know, but I think it's definitely going to be one of those two. What about you?
My only hesitation with that, because, like, obviously LA Knight should be the clear one because he's the new guy, and you want to obviously push the new guy after you made a big deal. Yeah. My only thing that's holding me back from him is we're going against Gargano, who's heel right now. I don't know if they do heel versus heel. Like, I could see face v face, because obviously we've seen that numerous times, whether it's NXT or anywhere else. But just getting in that mindset, I'm, like, trying to think of who it is. Now, Loomis and Theory and Gargano's group has been going at each other for a while, it seems. So I don't know if you're going to continue that track or, like, switch it up, do something different.
Yeah, right.
Roddy Strong's recently face, that would be interesting, but I don't know. He seems kind of too, not tied up, but, like, not doing anything besides the Cole and O'Reilly Undisputed Era thing breaking up.
Yeah. Right.
Bronson, I'd like to see. That could be cool, because then if he does win, then you can have LA feud with him then, and then take it from him, like, kind of set that up. Kushida, I think, is somebody I want. He hasn't really done a lot since being there. Like, he's definitely a strong competitor, and I like what he's done, but I don't feel like he's gotten the push that a lot of people expected. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'd say either him or Leon Ruff to win. Because I think Leon and Johnny, when they had that triple threat with Damian Priest, that was a really good one. And I know they've been pushing Leon recently ever since he kind of won the North American belt the first time. So yeah, I think those two make sense. I don't know too much about Russ, to be honest. And Atlas either. I know he's done some work on 205 Live, I think.
Right.
Swerve Scott I would have loved, but he's also heel now too. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I just don't think he's got enough going into this, enough build up. So
And Grimes is entertaining as all hell, but once again, that's a heel versus heel. So it's like, I don't know.
He's hysterical. I get a kick out of him. Yeah, I like him.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. So, yeah, I would think, personally, I'd say Kushida or Ruff would make sense, unless you're going to go the Bronson to LA Knight kind of ladder chain, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then we got the women's match for that night. Io versus Raquel.
Mm-hmm.
We got David versus Goliath there. Oh, man.
Yeah. She's 6 feet tall.
Yeah, she's tall. She's huge.
I know. I did some research. I was like, holy cow. Couldn't believe it. 6 feet tall. Just, Jade Cargill's 5'10".
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, this match is going to be interesting. I mean, Raquel's been, like, on fire since, I think it was when her and Rhea were kind of feuding, doing some stuff there with the steel cage match and whatnot. Like, they've been pushing. We got that weird women's tag team thing, but, whatever. So I don't know. I think this might be her time, to be honest. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't want Io to lose, selfishly, but it might be Raquel's time. Yeah. And then, like, the question becomes, like, what do you do with Io? Is she going to get called up, or is she staying? So it's like, we play that dangerous game, the call-up game.
I know.
Yeah. I think I got to lean towards Raquel for that one. honestly.
Okay. Can Raquel cut a promo?
Yeah, she's got a few.
She's okay.
Yeah, she's not just like
Okay.
she's not the silent big body type all Dakota's doing all the talking. No, she's done some.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, it's possible. It could be a title change, especially with a takeover this big.
Yeah.
This could be the time. If it was like a takeover in, the middle of the year, I'd say, they might hold on. But for something of this level, it's possible they might kind of push her forward now. So we'll see. But yeah.
All right, moving over to night 2. We already kind of talked about the North American title match, except for we kind of talked likelihood of the winner if it was certain people over Gargano. So we got the NXT belt, the unsanctioned match, and the ladder match. Ladder match, I'm excited to see, but I'm a little iffy on. We talked about it, I think, off streams about Marty and some other people who kind of have the baggage on them. Devlin's another one of these characters that has a lot of baggage. I don't know, obviously, the situation. I don't know any evidence or whatever.
Neither of us do.
So, maybe we're just...
I know nothing.
It's just weird because we haven't heard anything about it. And him still being around. I know he was out for a while because of that. But, I don't know. I don't like Santos all that much. I like him as a heel, but, obviously that's the point. I'm not supposed to like his character. So, it's I don't know. I'm interested for the match and how it goes, but I don't feel like I have a horse in the race, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm completely with him. Yeah, this one, if it's a good match, great. I'll be happy. If it's I'm gonna go make a sandwich match, that's okay too. But I don't have a dog in the fight. I really don't. It's just whoever wins, good for them.
Yeah. So there's that. We got the unsanctioned match: O'Reilly versus Cole.
Oh, Mr. Baker.
This one will be, this is a good one. I'm having a tough time deciding who wins this one. I'm leaning towards Cole.
Really?
I think so.
Why?
I just, obviously we did the breakup here. Not that Adam Cole necessarily needs it, because he was the leader of the group and everybody, you think Undisputed Era, you think him. So that could be, I could be talking myself out of this right now. I don't know. But I think he has to go over to kind of set himself as separating from the group completely, if that makes sense. I don't need this. Because we've seen matches in the past when Undisputed was there. He did get assistance from O'Reilly, Fish, and Strong. There's a match eventually when we do homework assignments for each other that I want you to watch. I think it's Gargano and him. But he got a lot of assistance in that match. So it could be this definitive, I don't need you, and just clean win there. But I don't know. Do you push O'Reilly, solidify him as this single star? We've kind of hinted at it a little bit with his match with Balor and stuff like that. So it's a toss-up there. I don't know.
My question is, what do you do with Cole afterwards? So that following Wednesday is... Adam Cole still in NXT?
Right.
Or does he move up? And I pray he does not move up. Just like for the rest of them, I'm almost hoping none of them move up, even though they will. Especially with the track record lately. Right. If Adam Cole goes to the main roster, O'Reilly has to go over if they're going to try and,
elevate him,
line his stars up and, get him moving, towards greatness. But if Cole's staying, I think Cole has to stay. It has to go over.
Yeah, that's a good call. The only question there is what does Cole have left to do in NXT? Does he just stay as the center, not a centerpiece, but one of those things we lean on if we're staying the Wednesday versus Wednesday, or the rumored Tuesday move? Who knows? Because that's a deciding factor too. If we're staying the Wednesday Night Wars, even though continuously NXT's been on the bottom end of there, it's
My thing is think about it. Let's Vince McMahon at this point, right? Let's say
personally, no, I know him.
I
Good
wish
old
I
Vinny.
did, I could use some money, Dad. No, just kidding. But let's see, you have Adam Cole walk into that back room, right? He walks in, he's 5'9", I don't know, whatever he is, 10 maybe tops. And he's pushed, he's in the minds of, fans everywhere as incredible worker, incredible talent, cuts a great promo, incredible promo for scripted promo. And then Vince looks at him up and down. I think he's going to either be chasing the 24/7 title in a year or he's going to be sitting home. So obviously it doesn't really matter what we think. But if I had it my way, I would leave him in NXT, even if there's nothing left to do, because he'll still contribute more to NXT. He could help bring young guys up, work with them. He can, I don't want to see him go to the main roster. Obviously, it's probably already planned. Whatever the case is, I just don't want to see it. What about you? Do you want to see him go to the main roster?
I definitely do, but only for like matchups and like obviously the bigger titles, I guess you could say. Not that like that diminishes NXT right there, but I mean like bigger events and whatnot. Like more eyes are obviously on that, so I want it just because of new ground, new territory of things for him to accomplish.
Sure. Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
I totally understand what you're saying. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't think the fans would allow that. Obviously, we're not in attendance right now. I mean, Mania will be our first little glimpse of it for at least the WWE side. Yeah. I feel almost like it would be a Daniel Bryan-esque moment. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we have examples, too, of, like, fan reaction and then nothing happens. Like, Keith Lee being our most recent one. We have all these moments with Lee, with the Rumble, with Survivor Series, with, like, these things.
Don't even get me started. That one breaks my heart.
I feel like the Adam Cole ones would be even more than Lee. Yeah. And I don't mean to take anything away from Lee. I just feel like he would get, like, almost the Daniel Bryan treatment where... you don't have the yes chant that's as annoying or as like consistent with chanting, but like you could do like, I think everybody would be so loud whenever he did show up, and he's got the Bay thing and all that, and he's got the popularity too with the up down down, people seeing him there. So like, I don't know, I feel like he'd be able to get over that hurdle, but I definitely understand why that's a worry of like just the track record of NXT call-ups and how like the success to failure ratio is. It's like, ew.
My fear is that WWE is going to try and position him to force the fans to put him in a Daniel Bryan position.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So in other words, they think they know how they got Daniel Bryan over by constantly, keeping him down, and they take credit for it, whether we like it or not. So I think in their minds, we could do that with, come on, pal, we could do that, Vince in the back, we could do that with Adam Cole, but then they lose track of what made them so special to begin with and why people love them and respect them and have faith in them. They're good guys, they're working hard, and that's what drives the fans nuts. That's what was so special with Daniel Bryan and Becky Lynch. Don't forget her too, even more recently. For months, the fans were, pushing, and they were pushing heel. So if they understand what makes him special, they can try and go that route and, kind of pull the Daniel Bryan route. But then again, I don't know if they've had a ton of success in that either.
True.
Since then, Becky Lynch was a fluke. I mean, remember when she was standing up in the top of the arena, and she doesn't even remember.
The nose break. Yeah, that was the breaking point, literally.
So I don't know. We'll see.
That's true.
We'll see. I'm rooting for him. I'm a huge fan of Adam Cole. Yeah. But we'll see. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I also feel like they gotta, somewhere in the back of their mind, they gotta realize like what. Well, I hope they realize. I don't know. Once again, with the track record, realize what they have. Because he's got a lot of allies over in AEW. Do you want to let him go and then
sure does.
Make it over there? Like that'll be another layer to that cake.
He's gonna come back to life.
Exactly. What happened?
Oh, there you are, Adam.
You've been gone for years. I've been laying on that floor.
He faked his death like Tupac, you know.
Oh goodness. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one to see the aftermath. And then we got our
for sure.
We got our championship match. We got Balor and Cross.
Oh yeah, we sure do. May I just say real quick? Karrion Kross has in my opinion, the greatest entrance I have ever seen. The way that entrance starts and the like she's back there playing that Scarlet Witch kind of thing, and he comes out, you could tell he's a butt kicker, and then they pan to the ring, she's kind of singing along to the music, and then all of a sudden they shoot to him, and it's just like, dang,
yeah, they did.
What an entrance! Oh, I can't get enough of that. I watched that 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, they do
I couldn't believe the first time I saw it. I couldn't believe
they do really well with their entrances down there and making sure everything hits their cues and whatnot. It's funny, like even some if you go back to like Shinsuke's another big one. Like they didn't have his as rehearsed right down off the bat, but you could see the evolution of it. Like, okay, the timing here, and when he finally nails it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, now we're going somewhere, you know. Yeah, definitely, it's a cool entrance.
Oh, incredible. I think it's the best in wrestling, in my opinion. Better than Cody, better than everybody. I think it's the best. Nice. I really do. But she adds so much to him, too. The facial she has, when she looks at him like he's a god, she's looking at him like, I'm just like, damn, you're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
You're good. You're good.
I had to talk about it. I was like, I love this guy.
I honestly think this is Cross 100%. I think it's just a point of like getting him back to where he was before, unfortunately, the injury. Like he had the belt there, and then unfortunately the shoulder, and whoop, there it goes. I don't think it's going to be a short one or anything. I think it'll still be a great match, obviously, between the two. But I think this is just getting Cross back to where he was almost a year ago at this point. Or 6 months, because SummerSlam was when Keith popped up. So, 6 months.
Yeah.
But, it'll be good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. You got any other thoughts on TakeOver before we move on?
What do you think of the 2 nights?
I think it's smart, especially with them going on USA. Like, obviously, they only have the limited window there. I already talked about it before. I'm kind of against it on the not doing the Saturday, but I get it when you got to do the 2-day Mania. Like, you got the 2-day Mania, you got Hall of Fame at some point. Like, even Hall of Fame, I don't know where they're fitting that in. Like, are you doing that Friday with SmackDown instead, or like?
Did I see something about Tuesday?
Oh, they're doing it really early. I mean, that's their open day right now, I guess. So interesting.
I couldn't imagine. Okay. I don't know. We'll see.
It's gonna be a busy week, and they got obviously 2 classes to induct. Obviously, they've been going lighter, I think, this year. But then again, they got Bischoff, Khali, Kane, Molly Holly.
Bella Twins.
Yeah, they're from last year.
Yeah.
Bella, I don't even remember who last year was. I know he got Jushin. Batista's out. He was there.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck, yeah, I don't know.
What do you think of Jushin being in?
I think Jushin's great. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I've personally only seen one of his matches, and that's the one I was there in person with Liger versus Breeze. But, I mean, just historically, absolutely, he should be in.
Yeah, I think that's a historical one. I think in terms of, I think he was only in WWF a couple matches in 93-ish. Okay. So it's more of a historical appointment, I think, which is good. Nothing wrong with
just
that.
What was it, Inoki went in? I don't think he ever was WWE that I know of. Maybe he was.
I think they had a working relationship at one point a long time ago, but yeah.
Let's see. Papa Griff in the chat asks, don't know or if you have a thought. Where does Bobby Fish fall in this whole saga of O'Reilly and Cole? That's an interesting one because, Fish is... unfortunately, injury central. Like, it seems like as soon as he's back, he's out again. Like, that's an interesting one because, like, after this is all said and done, do you just reunite O'Reilly and Fish? Because that team was fantastic. If we're trying to build a tag team division, like, please keep these guys around.
Oh, yeah, they were up there. Oh, yeah.
That's an interesting one. And same with Roderick. Not that Roddy can't do solo stuff, but I'm not going to lie. When Roderick first showed up and was solo, pre-Undisputed Era, I didn't care. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he had much going for him, like personality-wise or anything. I was like, oh, okay. Like, he can wrestle, obviously. But I had no skin in the game. When he got involved with Undisputed, I was like, okay. Now I get it. Yeah. So it's a very interesting question, yeah, for sure. What's going to happen with these three post this match, and obviously Undisputed Era being gone. I mean, like Steve mentioned, if we're going to push O'Reilly, then he's got his spot. But yeah, what do you do with the other two from here?
Wasn't Fish a local guy at one point?
Yeah, he's what is it? It's not Syracuse, but he's like a little west, I think.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting seeing where they fall into place. I just wish he would stay healthy. Schenectady. Thank you. Papa Griff says Schenectady.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say I thought so. I thought he was a local guy.
We'll have to see. All right, moving on to topic 2, more wrestling. Wrestlemania weekend coming up on the 10th and 11th. Boy. So once again, as of recording on March 27th, we got, once again, a lot of matches. I thought there was more matches, but there's not. Night 1, we got Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. We have the New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods against AJ and Omos. We got Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. We have Bad Bunny versus The Miz. We have Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown's Women's title. And we have Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. On night 2, we have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Big E versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. We have The Fiend versus Randy Orton. And we have, Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan, triple threat match for the Universal Championship. So, a lot going on. Yes, Lady in Wonderland, I did say Bad Bunny is wrestling at WrestleMania.
Isn't he a rapper?
He is a rapper, but this is how you get the mainstream involved. Don't even start me talking about Logan Paul references and shit on SmackDown. It's bullshit. We don't want it. Keep Logan Paul out of here. He's a piece of shit.
I second that, by the way. The wife called her Sama Bree. I was trying to find the screen name. Yeah, Sama Bree said, or Sam Amanda, whatever the screen name is that she has. She said, Big Bunny.
Big Bunny.
She's like, oh, Big Bunny. And I'm like, no.
He's a tiny bunny. Oh, boy. So, we got some interesting matches, some with a lot of story and some that are just thrown in there.
Where do you want to start?
Oh, God. Let's start night 1.
Do we have to?
I mean, let's see. Anything interesting here? Oof. Okay. Okay, I'll ask you, Steve, because you seem to have a lot of opinions on night 1. Do you have any matches that you're looking forward to? Or that?
Did you say Lashley was the first night?
Lashley is against Drew the first night. Yes.
Yeah, that's one to watch. I think that's one to watch. Okay, we'll start in the penthouse before we get to that.
Okay.
I think that could potentially be match of the weekend.
Okay.
I think that Lashley should hold on to the title. I would hold Lashley. Well, it depends what the plan is. See, who's he face next then?
Right.
You know, like what's the build up? So let's just in an imaginary world say Lesnar. Okay. Do you rush that? Do you do like SummerSlam? I would have Lashley hold it for a year.
Okay.
I would say hold it till next WrestleMania when you can get more people in the arena, or or have Drew face him again next year or something. Just build up to something. I think this flip flopping, like Miz just had it a week or two.
He had it a week.
Yeah, good. So I'm just kidding. Actually, believe it or not, I know this is not popular opinion at this point. I'm starting to mildly. You may want to clip this. I mildly almost appreciate the Miz at this point.
Hey.
I know. It went from my skin crawling to okay, I get it. I can appreciate him, not in a heel way, but like kind of in the past, kind of like in a go away sort of heat with me. But he's growing on me. He's growing on me. It's taking about 10 years, but he's growing on me at this point.
It's a slow burn. That's all right.
It's a slow burn. But anyway, yeah. So I think Lashley has to hold on because of the length of the title. You can't keep flipping it back and forth. I mean, it just becomes more and more of a prop each and every time. I love Drew. I love that Scottish intensity. I love the look, the way he talks, the way he walks. He's just got that, butt kicker look. I just don't know. I think Lashley is just in such a prime position right now, and the way that they're doing this Hurt Business kind of thing going on, with him and what's his face, MVP. I think it's a good combo, and I think that those two can just go probably push another year. I really do. Maybe have him lose at like Survivor Series against Reigns, and then kind of create that weakness, and then he goes to WrestleMania and loses to whoever next year. But I just wouldn't have him lose now.
Okay.
But what about you? What do you think?
Well, Papa Griff right now in the chat says Claymore goes over, Bobby can't work. Interesting. I don't know about the can't work. Yeah. He's definitely he's a different style. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's awful.
He can't cut he doesn't cut a great.
Well, that's why MVP's there. Like the mouthpiece.
Yeah. Which exactly. So, yeah.
I don't know. I think I gotta lean towards Drew, but only because of like the get over moment that he didn't get last year, if that makes sense.
And I had that thought too. Yeah.
So I'm like, that's my only thing. Personally, this is another one I'm like, I'd be fine either way. Like, I like Drew, but I might be burnt out a little bit at this point. I don't know why. Yeah. Lashley, like, I like his look. I like the entrance. I like his presence. But yeah, he's another one that just doesn't like excite me. Like, oh God, this guy is a heel I really like, or obviously he's not a face, but like somebody I'd really want to cheer or like see more of. He's there, kind of thing. Yeah. The thing where you mentioned about Brock, I'd be down with that from a logic standpoint. As a fan standpoint, clearly where I stand with Brock. Like, but then it comes into question of like, do you put Brock against Bobby because the MMA history, not them against each other, but just both with the background, or are you going to set Brock, if he does return, with Reigns because of the Heyman history? Like, what route do you go there?
I know.
That's a big old question mark. If he even comes back, we have no idea what he's doing right now.
Right. We don't know. He could be out golfing for all we know.
So so personally, I think I got to lean towards Drew, but I'm not sure.
Could go either way.
Let's see. Papa Griff says, even if I wasn't leaving WWE, but if you give me Bobby for a year, I weigh on. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. And then he says, you can get Cole over Drew if he comes up, but you can't get Cole over Bobby. That's a good call. I mean, Drew's a big, tall mother trucker too, so I don't know.
I mean, let's not pretend Drew's a little guy.
If he was a few years ago when he was scrimp and, had no muscles, maybe. But now that he's yacked beyond belief.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because, okay, Papa Griff, let's go back to the Cole being called up. I know we're skipping ahead here, but let's go with the triple threat. Let's go with the triple threat match, right? If Daniel pulls this off, especially being his quote-unquote last Mania, we got Cole beating him clean on SmackDown when everybody was stuck in Bloodsport, India, Saudi Arabia, excuse me. Like, he went over clean there against Bryan, so you already know he could beat him. Maybe he wins that one. Maybe he goes SmackDown route. I don't know. But we're skipping ahead. He got Bobby Roode over. That's true. And it worked in NXT. Also true, because Cole did attack Drew at that Brooklyn show. Brooklyn 4? I don't remember. But that's true. That's true.
But that was NXT.
Yeah. You know Edge is going over for the triple
roster.
threat. I mean, I want it. But we changed this whole plan with adding Daniel Bryan in there now all of a sudden. So that always throws a wrench in things. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, the main title match. Do you have any other Penthouse night ones, or is it all Outhouse from there?
I think it's all in the bathroom.
Really? Even Banks and Belair?
Oh, is that first night?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were winning tonight too. Okay, I take that back. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's a good one. I think Banks goes over.
You think Banks goes over?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Man. See, I think... I don't know. I stuck with her in Rumble and said she was officially winning. I got to stick with her here. I think she's got to go.
Okay.
I think she's going over. I think Belair's got it. Papa Griff says Banks too. Interesting. See, my thing... Like, there's some points that can go for it and go, like, back and forth. Like, do you strap the rocket on her, and then is it too much too fast, and then it just loses all its steam? Or, like, do you commit to it and be that, like, swan song Rumble to Mania, like, whole thing, arch? Like, it's a delicate game to play, because was Bianca doing much with her call-up prior to this? Not really. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if she loses, does she just go back to that? Which I hope not. I don't think so, but we don't know. And, like... But then again, has Banks had a Mania moment either?
Not that I recall.
Yeah, they lost the tag titles. It wasn't the main event. She wasn't involved there. I don't know if she has.
I think she outran Pineapple Pete on a track video, didn't she?
Probably. Oh, boy. Oh, I'm sorry. Papa Griff says Bianca's going over, and so is Rhea. My bad. I understood that as Banks. Okay. Interesting. Rumble rewards. Okay. I mean, I'd be fine with both of those, to be honest.
For sure. I like both of them. I just, I think it's too soon.
Okay. I
think it's too soon. I think you have to build her more. I don't want, I mean, it depends where she stands in VMAX eyes, Is she the next Charlotte Flair, where she just pushes her to the moon? Is she somebody who, is getting the limelight now and then just kind of falls wayside later, which would be tragedy? I don't know. Right. I don't know. I think it really depends on. We'll know after WrestleMania. We'll know where she stands. I just think that Banks is too established at this point. I think that Bianca still has probably another year to kind of grow, because you got to remember too, she is new to a lot of fans. Yeah. NXT's doing what do they average at this point? Maybe
600,
700,000 people. 600, okay, about 600,000 people a week. Whereas Raw's doing what, 1.8, 1.9. Like so let's say there's 1.1, 1.2 million people who have never seen this person before, So it's kind of, it's going to take time to build her up a little bit, as opposed to just, unless they assume that everybody watched NXT and knows. Sure.
I think another thing that goes in Bianca's favor is they did that the WWE Network special on her, like showing her, I don't know if it was a 24 or something, but like they put that special on her too, then to get the Rumble win. Like, it could be just another stepping stone off of that. Papa Griff brings up an interesting point. So he says Bianca and Rhea go over. Rumble rewards. Then they get hosed by Charlotte and Becky's returns. You could set that up too, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
You never know. It's really WWE is not straightforward.
Right.
Like they're booking you, or writing or whatever you call it at this point over there. It doesn't follow that sequence where what they do is what you'd expect them to do.
And I mean that's good.
You know,
because if it was just all that's happening.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it makes no logical sense. And it's just because then a surprise isn't a surprise anymore.
Right.
If it's just I don't know who's gonna win every time, then it's like, well, who?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right.
Hey, I'm rooting for both. I like both of them. They're cool.
So that'd be a good one. I'm a little weird on like the story build up of how they're doing it. Like since Fastlane was weird of like now Banks is going this hard heel, calling her rookie and all that stuff. That's a little weird, but
yeah,
it is what it is. That would be a good match. Let's see. I guess I'll just give brief thoughts on the other four. Bunny Miz, I get it. It's a publicity move. We got to get eyes on it. Whatever. Cesaro.
Where's my vomit bag? Hang on a minute.
Cesaro, Rollins, like both are talented, but I don't have. There's no like super story behind that, so it's like I don't know. New Day and AJ and Omos.
Hang on. What about Cesaro? You think it's too little, too late?
I don't. But you got to give him something if that's the case. Yeah. Like he has people behind him, but we're not doing anything with it. Like this is like it's a Mania match, great. Does it mean anything? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you beat Rollins. Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. It wasn't for a title. Wasn't for anything. Like,
yeah.
God. I don't know. We got Kofi and
do you think?
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say, what do you think it would? Where do you think this would be if like let's say fans were in there week to week here on out? Mm-hmm. You think Cesaro, we'd start seeing some movement, more, less, or about the same?
I would hope so, but knowing obviously what we've known for years, like sometimes they just are like, what? Oh, I heard things. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Is that the win? What was that?
So, God, I would hope so, but man, I don't know. And I think like even, because you could see it sometimes on like the internet. Now, don't get me wrong, the internet sometimes is a piece of trash that just doesn't do anything. I'm looking at you, Twitter.
Yeah.
Like even when Shinsuke went through that gauntlet, like everybody was like, "Yes, this is the Shinsuke we want." And then what do we do after that? Nothing. We get a bro.
Yeah.
We get him and Riddle doing a weird Fastlane promo, and then we get him losing to Rollins because fuck it.
Yeah.
Like it was a good match, but
why
fuck
not?
it.
Yeah. Just because.
Yeah, so like, I don't know.
I love Claudio. Mm-hmm. I love him. Oh, he's awesome. It's just again, we're gonna keep saying this throughout the night. Underutilized, under push, as JR always says. Everybody's got to get their push. But he really should. He's so talented. He always has been. Do you ever see that interview way back when? I saw it when it happened. After Punk left. And by the way, you wearing a Punk sweatshirt?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Right here. That's awesome. There you go. I just noticed. I was like, wait a minute.
This is the old one, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. But he, what the hell was I just talking about? Oh, yeah. But Claudio, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Vince, you remember when he was on Austin's podcast or whatever that was, the Austin show? Yeah, and he was saying, Cesaro, he's we're not sure what he's missing right now, but there's just something not there and all that. Again, that's that mentality backstage. We just don't know what he's missing. There's something missing. It's like, but I don't want to say he's out of touch because I know he's got a lot going on, but he's so talented. Right. I mean, it's in front of you. It's in front of you and you can't see it.
Yeah.
And same with Daniel Bryan. I mean, what took so long?
Yeah.
It's just, it breaks your heart. Like, these guys are so talented.
For sure. And I'm not...
And they were talented beforehand.
Yeah. And, like, there's a lot of players like that. And it's not to say, like, you don't need those stable, like, not ground players. What am I trying to say here? Okay, kind of think.
Well,
Go ahead.
back in the day, they used to call them years ago, like in the territory days, they would call them carpenters.
Okay.
They're the guys who they would just keep building.
Mm.
So they'd be the guys to be in there to build others.
Okay, yeah, like those workhorses, those kind of like in other sports, like those assist players. Like they're not the star player, but they're there to make everybody better. Like you can have those people, but why not? Especially if this guy's been doing it for years, why not like just a moment, like ooh, there's something, and then we could go back there. Like have a little rotation going on here. Not saying like everybody's got to get a fair chance because everybody's got to get a participation trophy, whatever. But like if they show you they can do it, why not throw a bone here and there? I don't know.
Yeah.
Papa Griff says Rollins is the new Jeff Jarrett. Oh boy.
Yikes. Ooh. Which incarnation? I'm curious. Oh, that's rough. He's right, but that's rough. Ooh. Oh man.
Let's see. And then we got the other two matches in night one. We got New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus Styles and Omos. I
can't get over the Jarrett comment. You're so right. I'm sorry. Was there anything? We'll get right back to this. Was there anything? You watched some old WCW from the late '90s, early 2000s, like the 2001? Okay. Was there anything worse than Jeff Jarrett 2001?
No, maybe TNA Jeff Jarrett, but.
Oh, that's okay. Good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah, the carryover. Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. The tag team match. I had to get Jeff Jarrett out of my system. I won't be getting any fan mail from him somehow.
This is a weird toss together match, and I'm not sure what the route they're going with is. Are we just gonna give Omos and Styles the tag belts? But then we're also, I mean, I don't watch Raw, but what I've seen is like Styles is like, you're lucky you have me as your partner, like ha ha ha, like joking around like that it's not a good unit. So is this just the moment Omos is gonna beat up Styles or turn on him or whatever? And if so, throw away. It just seems like a waste.
Yeah,
like we need a match for these guys. Go for it. I don't know. And this is
what do you think of wrestling broadcasting a heel turn or a babyface turn? Like, how you were just saying, like they're basically forecasting, like they're showing you, like foreshadowing, I guess is the word. Like there's going to be a split at some point between these two, right? Like there's some tension between these two. What do you think of that? Do you always like that? Sometimes do you like a surprise turn that you didn't see coming? What do you think of that?
I definitely not all the time, because if it's all the time, it's just like, oh well, there goes that kind of thing. Like it's so clear.
Exactly.
I liked obviously we have the Pinnacle example right now. We had the seeds planted for like ages. If you really looked, like I didn't notice any of it until like MJF posted something on Twitter of everybody's like the pinnacle, like they kept saying it over and over again over promos. I was like, oh shit. So I like that. And then like I like when we don't go with the obvious, like it was the New Day once again, how they got drafted to different spots. And everybody's Big E's going to turn, Big E's going to turn, Big E's going to turn. And then we did this just nice goodbye moment thing. Like, thank you for not doing the obvious and like stuff like that. Because they kind of hinted that he might turn with some like side-eye glances and stuff. Occasionally I like it and sometimes I don't when it's just too obvious. If that makes sense. I don't know.
What do you think about the? I realize we're going way off track at this point, but what about Big E and New Day? What do you think of that? You happy with where they're at? Do you think they just are meant to be together at this point? Do you think it's just the way they're positioning and that they haven't moved them far enough apart? What do you think it is?
Like, do you mean like what they're doing right now? How I feel about it, or personality wise?
Yeah. Do you feel Big E's completely gotten over to his full potential?
I wouldn't say full, but like I think he's on the right track. I think we're doing good stuff with him. I still like that he has the personality of like what New Day was doing. Like that's still himself, as he's said. I like that. I like how we didn't just do a completely new character and here I am, this Big E.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. I got somebody else I'm gonna talk about.
I like the tease back at the 5 gimmick, or at least bringing back the powder and stuff like that. I do like. We'll get to this match in night 2, but I do kind of like the feud we're doing with Apollo right now, and how he has those different levels of storytelling. Like, he can be the goofy E that we love and know, or he can get this serious, like, I'm gonna whoop your ass, kind of E.
Yeah,
I like that. But no, I think this is like we're on the right track with E. I don't think like this is his peak of what he can do, but I do like what we're doing with him. As for the opposite side of the coin with Woods and Kingston, I'm not confused, but like I assumed or would think if we're going to split these guys up, like obviously E's got his route, what we're going to do with him. I thought we would do something different or more substantial with Woods and Kingston. This just seems like kind of going back to Cesaro, like the filler role, which isn't bad, I guess. But like, did they really need the tag team belts again? No, they've already won them 10 times over. Now this is 11. Like, they had a good thing going with Hurt Business. Good, do that. Now go to a new team that we're trying to build up. I don't know who that team would be, but like use them as people we know who can work and know who can put on a good show and like build other people up, kind of thing. Like, I don't know. And like Retribution, they could have been that for Retribution. And now I know everybody's got so many thoughts on Retribution. I think Retribution could have been good for a couple different things if we didn't get stupid nicknames and we committed to them. Don't have them go out and lose every match that they have. Like, then it's just a joke. The Mustafa reveal as him as the leader. Awesome. Yeah. Now do something with it.
Something, anything. Could have, should have, would have.
Yeah, and now it's dead, so it didn't even matter. So them, I'm like, I don't get it. But other than that, I think he's on the right track for their split.
Okay, so
back to the tag match. So yeah, it's going to be interesting if they give them AJ and Omos the belts or if it's the turn. Papa Griff asks if there's any silent heat with Omos. Not that I know of. Yeah.
I know they've been sending him to those classes that Keith Lee's going
him
to.
And, what's his name? Otis. Yeah.
Otis. Oh, yeah. What happened to Otis? I know him and Chad Gable were like together now, right?
And
that's
they're
like
a heel team. Why?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Otis just screams
I
heel.
think they both make, like, it works as a team. But then we get into the logic questions 100 times over WWE. Let's break up a good team in heavy machinery. What are we going to do now, boss? I don't know. Let's put them in another fucking tag team. Whoa, we got the Iconics here. People really love them. They're entertaining. Oh, let's split them up. What are we going to do with Peyton? Put her in another fucking team. Stupid. Yeah.
Making change for change's sake. You don't always have to change things, and that's what they don't get because there's no long-term plan.
Right.
You know, it's just Otis and Chad, and where'd Tucker go? Do you know where he is?
He did one
now?
jobber match, and now we haven't seen him in ages.
Is he on main event yet?
I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, but I have no idea what happens in main event now, anyways. I'm surprised that's still even a thing.
That's like Night of the Living Dead over there.
Exactly. Oh, God. So, yeah, I don't know about tag match. And then Braun and Shane, I don't give 2 fucks. Who cares? Who cares?
You see where Shane's, leg hurt or whatever?
Yeah, fast lane. Oh, I twisted my ankle. Or my knee. My knee.
Card subject to change, my ass. Oh, come on.
I don't know. I've never been the biggest Braun fan, and I'm just like, okay, just move on. Move on.
I can tell. He's a nice guy. I can tell. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... that's about it. You know? I mean, he's... Like, you can tell he's a big, teddy bear type, But he's just, he can't cut a promo well. He has about 4 moves. Right. He's just... And then Shane is Shane.
Right. Papa Griff.
Wasn't he... Wasn't he fired?
Shane? Probably. He's been fired like 8 times.
Yeah, wasn't he just fired like what? Owens, right? Not that long ago.
I don't know.
It wasn't that long ago.
No idea. Papa Griff says it's Shane's yearly bad word. Shane has to be the ragdoll. Yeah, it's just that's all it's gonna be. It's the
coast to coast.
Jump to the table. Yeah. That's it. All right.
What was the other match? Well, there was another one, right?
So night one, I think we covered them all. We had Lashley, Drew, Banks, Belair, Bunny, Miz, Cesaro, Rollins, tag match, and Strowman and Shane. That's night 1.
How long does Bad Bunny and Miz go?
I'd give it 5 tops. 5 tops.
Yeah. It's a singles match, right?
It's a singles. So I assume you're gonna have Priest. I think it's Priest in Bad Bunny's corner and Morrison and Miz's corner. Poor Morrison. What the fuck are we doing with that? Hey, you want to come back?
There's another one.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I was telling Sam Amander. I was telling her, I was like, Morrison was such. He was on. I know Impact. I don't know if you watched a ton of it, but he was, you know, top notch. Which may be like the nicest guy in prison, you know. But it's, you know, he was doing a really good job, and then he comes back. And he didn't have the Drew McIntyre moment where he comes back and everything's beautiful and, you know, you build and build.
That Rumble.
That
Rumble. I know you got to do the Brock thing. I get it now looking, you know, back hindsight 2020. Why not leave Morrison till after that?
I know.
Ooh, he did a fun flip as he got thrown out. Big deal.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
His best thing that came since coming back has been last year's Mania, the triple threat ladder match. That's it. That's all he's done. Then he's been sing-songing.
It's horrible, man. Horrible. Who's that guy that was with? I didn't recognize him unless if I'm just missing something. Who's the guy who was with Shane and Braun? I'm sorry, Shane and Elias.
Oh, that's Jackson Riker. He's formerly of the Forgotten Sons. He was on TNA as Magnus? Question mark? I don't think so. I think that's wrong. He was in TNA for a while.
No, I don't know.
No, Bram. Bram was his name, I think, in TNA.
Oh, Bram. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's him?
I think so.
Oh,
pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, he was part of the Forgotten Sons tag team. Then he said some offensive stuff on Twitter. That team got broken up, and they're off TV for a while. And now he's with Elias, because why not?
That's what I thought. I was like, didn't something happen?
Yeah, he was managing Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, I think his name is, who doesn't work there anymore.
Okay.
So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. So, yeah, night 2.
Okay. Yeah, night 2. Okay.
All right, so out of these 4 matches, anything that's Penthouse versus Outhouse.
What were the 4 again?
We have Owen Zayn, Big E versus Apollo. Okay. We have The Fiend versus Orton, and we got Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan.
Fiend and Orton is so far in the Penthouse. It's one of. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Hold on. I wish I could edit that right out. Orton and Fiend is so far in the porta potty. It's like the state fair after 3 weeks and it hasn't been changed yet.
Oh my.
That is, it's horrible. Horrible. What do you, there's no way. You don't like that, right? If you do,
yeah,
cool.
I do.
I totally respect you.
I totally get why people are like, on it. It's so out there. I'm like, you know what? This is different enough. I like it. And I don't know if it's like the similar to how Broken Matt Hardy and that stuff was, how that was like so obscure. It was interesting. I like the storytelling of this. I know like 99% of it is cinematic, and I'm fine with it in this era because there's no fans and stuff. You can get away with it. I'm fine with it. I like that. I think I like this way of presenting it where it's pre-recorded and everything's in the ring and yada, yada, yada. I think I like that more than maybe like, oh, we're going to X location and we're just out in the woods fighting kind of thing. Yeah. I like playing with that element. Would this work any other time where fans were here? Absolutely not. No.
Could you imagine if the fans were there?
Yeah.
And imagine if let's pretend, and I wish this was the case, that the pandemic never happened. Okay, imagine them watching this match right now. Could you imagine? I think Hell in the Cell with Rollins would have been
God, yeah.
compared to this.
Yeah. So I'm liking the storytelling of it. It's gonna be interesting once we get fans back in. Like, how are you gonna do this character again, especially with Fiend being burned now? Which the new costume's kind of cool, but honestly, I would prefer the other one. Like, where do you go from here after this story's done and once fans are back? That's my question. Like, how do you transfer this from this cinematic faux pas-esque storytelling? But yeah, I kind of like it. Do I think it's going to be the best thing ever or that entertaining? No, but I think I like the presentation.
I was going to send
of it.
Oh, I totally respect that. I can't imagine this being
fair enough.
I hope it is. I hope it is. I hope it's the best cinematic match. Better than Sting and Darby. Better than the Graveyard match, the Boneyard match. I hope it's better than all of them. I really do. Yeah. For the sake of wrestling, I just don't think
Steve,
so.
At least you can guarantee this. It's going to be better than their last Mania match where we had the maggots on the mat through a projection. At least you can guarantee that. Oh, a projection! I'm scared.
Hey, you want to hear an interesting story? I never knew this, but I was listening to Something to Wrestle, and they were talking about the fact that years ago, what's his face? Who's that guy came from OVW and then went to WWE, the one with the worms and stuff. What was
Boogeyman?
His face? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Did you know that they have to have a worm handler on set?
I mean, if it's there, I can assume.
I never would have thought that. It makes sense because they're animals technically, but I would have never thought that. I just never thought, you see them at tackle stores, I never
you need a handler, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what?
Lady in Wonderland says, if that happened while I was watching, I would literally never watch wrestling again. Lady, you don't watch wrestling when it's a normal match. You're like, nah, I'm good. I'm okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Papa Griff also shouts out the Rhea versus Asuka match. That is happening. I'm on WWE's site right now. It doesn't have it under night 1 or night 2 on this current page. So I could be missing stuff, but we could talk about that one as well.
My guess is that'll be a night 2 if Bianca and Sasha's on one, right? Night 1?
Split everything up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's night 2, that's fire. I'm looking forward to that. I know like it's thrown together like, I'm Rhea Ripley. I want a title shot. Like, that's it. She just showed up and asked for it. But I don't care. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So.
Does somebody get added on last minute?
For the ladies or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, how you remember a few years ago? You remember like Becky and Ronda? There was the build up, and there was that. It was white hot, and then all of a sudden they added Charlotte. Right. Do you think they'd do something like that again?
God, I hope not. The Rhea Asuka thing is an interesting one because of, once again, it's just this thrown in there one. But Charlotte's been advertised as at Mania. She's off the poster now. She told Asuka she wanted to go for the belt. We have the Andrade situation. And apparently she has COVID or tested positive.
Right.
Which is the first one they've openly come out and say someone has COVID, I think.
Yeah.
Except for Drew. No, Drew they did.
Yeah.
So it's like...
True, they did.
Now, I don't want to say with the Andrade stuff that they'd be bitter. Because Charlotte's obviously, in their eyes. So why ruin that? So I want to say it's not that. So I want to believe the COVID thing, but the timing of everything is just very awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't think they add anybody. I think that would... Oh, boy. Yeah, that would be rough if they did. So I'm going to say no and just have high hopes for that.
Who goes over?
I think Rhea does. I know
Really?
Asuka was hurt recently, So I don't know if she's still kind of healing from that. I like Asuka, and like obviously Asuka's tough to beat.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Like it could go either way. But I want to say Rhea just because we obviously had the Rhea Charlotte match last year. And a lot of us were pulling for Rhea then to go over Charlotte. She didn't get that moment. So we are like, I feel like you mentioned with Bianca, we don't have the 1 point whatever million that haven't seen Bianca. I feel like everybody's seen Rhea at this point. Obviously, we had the Survivor Series moment where they won. We had, obviously, the Mania last year where she didn't win, unfortunately. We had the Rumble once again. Like, I think she's had those eyes now. I'm not saying, like, oh, everybody hates Asuka or Asuka's heel, so, like, they want her to beat her. But I feel that would be more believable in a, like, fan perspective. Like, oh, okay, yeah, she went over. Because if we're going back to the audience portrayal thing, Asuka in NXT was like dominant. Nobody could beat her, right? Like she gave up. I don't know the word for it. I'm looking for it, but she gave up the belt when she left.
Yep.
Nobody beat her. So like that audience hasn't seen that Asuka. They've seen the Asuka that we've seen on main roster, which is kind of like was really strong, then is kind of not strong, then's in a tag team's goofy, still goofy but kind of strong. Like not this dominant force. So like. I think that also kind of leads into the like, oh, this is possible type thing. It's not like this giant thing she's got to overcome and tackle type deal. And I don't know. I think it's just something new because Asuka's held on to that belt, it seems like, for a while. Well, it was the SmackDown belt, then it was the Raw belt, or was it both? There was that whole Bayley, Sasha, her thing. She's been passed around. She's been holding a main belt for a while this year, it seems. So I think it'd be okay if she loses. Yeah.
I think Asuka goes over, and I think it's a mistake to even have this match. I love Rhea, and I think bringing her in at this point, if she wins, you didn't deserve it yet.
Okay.
And then she becomes, the heel in the fans' eyes, potentially, she's being pushed by the company. If she loses, it's too soon.
Okay.
I think it's too soon for her to lose anything. I think she should go in for a good year and just kick some ass, take names, and then a year from now we talk about, who she faces at WrestleMania then, for the belt. I think it's too soon. Okay. I think that's why, in a way, as much as it would, appall me, I think they might have to add like a fall person.
Somebody take the hit.
Because I don't want to see either of these. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I also think Asuka, let's say she wins, right? I could see them doing something like Asuka wins, she's celebrating, she's dancing, and then all of a sudden Becky's music plays. And she comes out and she says, I want my belt back.
Right, because she kind of gave it to her with Money in the Bank.
Right. So I could see them doing something like that. We'll see. But
okay. Papa Griff brings up, so LA Knight should wait in line. MSK should have waited in line, ? Bringing back up the NXT guys that we talked about getting the title, possibly. So, like, should they have waited? Because Rhea's, like, going off your point. Like, that Rhea should wait from a fan perspective. Like, is that the case?
I don't think Rhea should be in this match. I think it's too soon. I think you have to build her because, again, as I was going, and she's had even less build now on Raw in terms of like actual, consistent presentation. She's had less build than Bianca.
Yeah, because Bianca's been out for a while.
Right, and even though she had a match in front of everybody's eyes at WrestleMania and a couple appearances here and there, last year, she's just they still have to develop her as a character. And it's tough to do that when you have the title because you have nothing to fight towards. You're fighting others away from you. You're trying to hold them off. Instead, and I think it's easier to try and build somebody from the ground up as opposed to, but.
Okay. Going off your point, where like if she wins, that puts a lot of heat on her because of the, like, oh, the company's got a lot of faith. This is the person they're going with, kind of thing, or however you put it. Mm-hmm. I think that could work if she goes heel. Rhea's a very strong heel. Like, she started off heel. Well, technically she started off face in the Mae Young Classic 1. Then she came back heel, Mae Young Classic 2 with the new look. Like, I think that could work. Yeah. Get a strong heel character, because I'm trying to think ladies-wise, do we have a strong heel? Probably Charlotte's the only one I can think of. Well, Sasha now with the turn, and Bailey. Okay, maybe that's a lie. On Raw, do we have a strong? We need that, and especially if we're going Becky comes back, kind of thing. And then, I mean, there's rumors of Bella's coming back. I don't know what grounds that is. I'd be fine with that. I'm just really scared with her losing to Asuka, not because, like, once again, not that Asuka doesn't have legitimacy or whatever, or shouldn't be there. Mm-hmm. My fear is would be Rhea's second loss. Would that hurt her? Like, would that just put her in the grave immediately? Like, the first one, we get it. It's NXT. People think of it as the lesser brand. Oh, she lost to the main star, kind of thing. Yeah, okay. This one, if she's here, like, I mean, I guess because it's a recent call-up, you could still go with that route. Like, does she have any legitimacy when post-Mania? Like, should we even believe in this character? She's lost twice at the main stage. Like, and like you said, you think it's a bad spot for her in general, which, talking it out, obviously, I could see the negatives of both results. I don't know.
I would have brought her in Monday. Or, the Monday after.
I think that might have been the original plan. But then this COVID thing. Because they didn't say, like, oh, she's coming to Raw until Fastlane, the night before she showed up, which is when all this stuff happened. So it might have been Bully puts it on Busted Open podcast in case of emergency break glass. It might have just been that. Like, we can make a graphic quick, like, and do that.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Papa Griff also brings up Cross came right in and dominated. Walter came right in and dominated. Santino over Umaga. And then he also says maybe she's young Kurt Hennig and she'll have to go to AWA to come back as Mr. Perfect. Yeah, she's going to keep losing then come back, maybe.
That would be interesting.
It's a tough one. I don't know. I'm still going to say she wins. But there's a lot of things to think about.
Did you ever watch any old AWA?
I have not, no.
Oh, whenever they get that loaded up, you should watch some. With the old Vern Gagne. Okay. Oh, you'd love it. I think you would love it. Yeah, it's like basic style wrestling, but it's good, and they build these guys up. It was great,
So the ladies will be interesting. So we also got the triple threat, the IC title, and then Owens and Zayn. Owens and Zayn is a weird one. They just added it last night. I don't know if there's any story there. Literally, I think it's just throw in there. Now, don't get me wrong. These guys can do great work, as we've seen in numerous companies before, but, like, it's just like...
It's a filler match. It's a filler match. It's not going to insult my intelligence. It's not going to, but it's not going to make me say I need to buy this pay-per-view.
See, this is a match that everybody wants, but not the build that they want. If we could go back, like, 4 years when Zayn was, the ska dancing face... and Owens was the dirtbag heel. Like, just do the NXT match again. Just on the biggest stage.
And I like those guys, I liked El Generico. I liked
Steen.
Kevin Owens. I just, it's just, I don't know. Right now,
just a throwaway.
and I'm not even just picking on WWE. I could say the same thing about FTR and the Bucks.
Yeah.
It's like all that build, and then it was just kind of like, it was good, Thanks for coming, It's just, I don't know. Sometimes things are rushed.
Papa Griff also jokes, Owens and Zayn will never, ever, ever wrestle again. Oh, wait, let's go again for the 400th time. True.
Exactly, right.
That's true. So I mentioned this earlier, IC title, Big E and Apollo. I like what they're doing with it. I like that we're finally doing something with Apollo. Thank fucking God. I'm interested in this one if they do well. Fastlane's match was good, and then it got ass right at the end. What was that finish? What was that question mark roll up? Whose shoulders down? Who got count? Oh, Big E won? Cool. Nobody looked strong there. Apollo beats him up after just because we got to save something here if this was a mistake. I don't know. Oof. Like, I want to be invested in this one, but man, that Fastlane event just took a...
Let me ask you a question, because maybe I'm just missing it, okay? What's with this Apollo Crews character?
Okay, so I don't know much about Apollo pre-NXT, to be honest. But I know coming in, he was going under the character, I think he had Uha was part of his name or something like that. But he was the Uha Nation. I thought, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of calling back to that character, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I kind of dig it, because it gives Apollo something to actually talk about instead of just being smiley babyface all the time. Like, he has character now, which makes him more interesting. And we know the guy can do stuff. Like, he's very acrobatic and skilled and whatnot. So I think it completes its package. Is it a weird 180 from, like, hi, I'm Apollo. Hi, I'm Apollo. And now have an accent all of a sudden? Like, that's a little weird. But it's the reverse Kofi Kingston. Like, weren't you Jamaican?
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was just unbelievable. It's you know, it's like he got an email from somebody, you know, about, you know, getting winning a prize from Nigeria, and then all of a sudden he's, you know, got the accent. Like, you know, oh, guess what I got? I didn't pick up money, but I picked up the accent.
Hey.
You know, I'm like, what the hell?
Hey, you're Black Panther now. That's popular. Do that.
Yeah. Coming to America, too. Like, what do we do? You know, I'm like, what is
so,
this?
Yeah,
like,
the suspension of belief is very weird with the accent thing. It's weird, but once again, I'm fine with it because I think it gives him that substance. Like, there's actually a character there now. But yeah,
It's like Lana. Like, all of a sudden, Lana one day, you know, she went from 90 Day Fiance to, you know, like, you know, that like Russian, you know, oh, Rusev, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, she's, you know,
you're from Georgia.
Like, you know, you and me. Which is, and I'm like, hey, that's cool. Right. Good for you. Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean,
they
did that years ago with Kofi. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I never picked up on it until Triple H segment where he's like, "Wait a minute, weren't you Jamaican?" Yeah. I never noticed that watching week to week, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm not knocking him. I'm just like,
it's
what?
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's all good. I'm just like,
like
in terms of storytelling, I'm like, I don't get it.
I like how they made it a big deal and didn't just like he changed overnight of like he had the accent without acknowledging it. Like mid promo, he put it on. I at least like that kind of thing and like how he's really aggressive. But I want to have more faith in this match. But once again, that fast lane finish, just not good.
Yeah, not
and
good.
And then we got our triple threat for the Universal title. Any thoughts on this one?
Oh gosh. Okay. Thank you. You go first. Go ahead. You go first. I'm gonna trying to put this nicely.
Okay. So I think the story they have is interesting. I like how they've gone with bringing Daniel Bryan in a logical way. I think I might have brought it up to you. I know I definitely talked with Papa Griff about it. How like back in Elimination Chamber, Bryan won. Yay, he gets a title shot. But he got it immediately. Like, there was no chance. Yeah. What the fuck is this? So I like how we're building from like, hey, I got shit on here. I'll do the Fastlane thing. All right, I do the Fastlane thing. Some mistakes happen. Edge gets frustrated. There's this, that, the other thing. Ba-bam. Now we got the triple threat. I'm fine with all that. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm confused as why we had to do it. Like, why we couldn't just do spear versus spear, Reigns Edge. I'm a little confused on that.
Yep.
Like, if it's Ryan's last Mania, okay, I get it. Do I think he needs to win? No. Like, I'm still pulling for Edge, like Papa Griff said earlier. I still think Edge wins it all. Unless Reigns keeps it just to keep this dominant character going. The question is what happens after? Like, what does Reigns do from here? Like, if the rumors were true originally, obviously this was going to lead to a Rock thing. The Rock thing's not going to happen for a while because most likely you're going to save that for WrestleMania Hollywood or whatever the fuck it's called in like 2 years.
Exactly.
Fine. Yeah. I'm down for that when and if it happens. But you can't just have him hold it forever and then, eventually, bye. Yeah, I think Bryan's a good add also because of the work dynamic. I think all three can put on a good show psychology-wise and figure out how to make this triple threat not just seem hokey, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not confused. I'm puzzled on, obviously, A, why this happened, why we needed the triple threat. And then B, where do we go after this? Like, if Reigns wins, once again, what do you do with him, Tribal Chief, that narrative? Okay. Sure. Edge wins. Yeah. Cool, we get the homecoming from last year's Rumble to this year's Rumble. We get all that. Bam. Rumble rewards once again. Makes sense. Obviously, he can do stuff with other guys, so I guess he's got the most definitive path of afterwards, like who he could work with. I get that. Mm-hmm. If Bryan wins, if this is his last Mania, as the champion, like, you kind of got to be there. Brock Lesnar. Goldberg. Like, what's his route from here? Like, do you just have him face Reigns again because Reigns going to be pissed? Or maybe he's back with working with other people, like when he was doing the eco-friendly character, which I'd be fine with. But if you're trying to take time off and slow down, like, you can't really do that as champ unless you're that bro. It's very odd. So I don't know if it's just like a nice swan song for Bryan to kind of give him that, hey, thanks for everything type moment. Which, if so, fine. It's just an odd throw-in. Papa Griff says Bryan is there for work rate. The other two need to rest. He's already had his Mania moment. True. 30, you can't beat 30. 30's, that's the top. So,
absolutely.
So that's my thoughts. I think Edge is going to win. I think it's going to be a solid match between the three. I'm just a little confused on why it ended up this way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, do we have any doubt Bryan takes the pin, right?
I think Edge takes it at the end.
Really? What, you mean gets pinned?
Gets pinned. Excuse me. Sorry. No, I think that's smart. Yeah, because then you keep Reigns strong. Because, you did the little fake teaser tap out at Fastlane. So, you keep Reigns out of it. Keep him Tribal Chief. Then he has some kind of ground stuff. Rah, rah, rah. Be angry. Yeah. And then if you're doing the swan song, that makes sense, too. Like, he went out on his back, like the saying is. Like, that makes sense. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird dynamic because whose retirement is it? Well, no, I shouldn't say retirement, but who's, because you got Edge. I don't know. I know he's, 2 years? Signed for 2 years, I think. Know. Something like that. I'm not sure, but something along those lines. Bryan, he's getting towards the end. He's lucky to be wrestling now. But do we have two guys that are finished after this? It's like it's a little. I don't know. I've got Reigns winning. I think Reigns stays strong, and I think he holds it another year.
That would be dominant. I mean, beating both of them. Like, obviously, they're both built up as strong, faces. I'd believe that too. Once again, it just comes back to, like, where do we go from here? Like, do you do the Brock thing in SummerSlam or whenever, like we talked about? Or I don't know if other Uso is healthy or if he's on their side like Jay is. Like, do you have him whoop his ass? Like, where do we go?
I know.
Or do you do the Big E thing? Like, is this Big E's time to maybe take on Reigns from there? That could happen.
I know. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it could. It's definitely Bryan's getting pinned or tapped or whatever. He's I think this is it. It's like it might be one of those things. Like, what was it? WrestleMania. Going back to my Rolodex. WrestleMania 17 was it when Austin? I think that was his final WrestleMania.
19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay, that was against
Yeah,
The Rock,
15,
right?
17, 19 were against The Rock. Rock finally beat him at 19, I think.
Was it?
Pretty
Okay.
sure. Because he won at 17 with the chair shot, and he was heel technically, and then 15 he won.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's he won 19, or Rock won
Okay.
19, and that was his last one.
Oh, okay.
He did
Yeah,
this.
hey,
He did
we'll
the
see.
special referee with Lesnar and Goldberg that no one cared about.
Nobody
did.
cared about it. Everybody knew they were leaving.
Yeah, and then he's done numerous "Hey, here I am" appearances. So, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Hey, I hope it's a good match. That's all I hope for. What do you think of this Peacock move? You like it? Or no?
I was actually talking with a lady about this earlier today, trying to explain how it works out. I think it's smart, obviously, from a business standpoint, because money, duh.
Yeah.
That's
always
am
good.
very surprised that they didn't get the numbers of subscriptions that like they were anticipating from this.
Yeah.
Because from what I can tell, I'm not on the network all the time, but like
Right.
there was so much content and good content on there. Like I know it was rough at the beginning when they launched, but like that seems like great, like for any wrestling fan, regardless of where you stand. I don't like the transfer process of like when we get the network on Peacock or through Peacock, however it works, everything's not available. I don't understand why it can't just be not a copy and paste, but like, hey, you have this thing established here, right? Why can't Peacock just literally take their umbrella and go, ooh, and like go over top of it and like, we just own this now? Why do we have to like rebuild it under new, not software, but however they're doing this?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I also don't like, I get it why they're doing it, but it sucks in the same answer of the censoring or removal of certain programming or things. Like, I get it. Yes, history of wrestling, there's a lot of questionable things that looking back, hey, that probably wasn't the best thing. You know, it was a time in wrestling, whatever. I get that as a company, you don't want that reflecting on you. However, like, is Joe Schmo, random Peacock subscriber, gonna go to this Raw or this WCW or whatever and be like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, just randomly find it or stumble upon it. They're not gonna care. So the people going to wrestling are gonna be wrestling fans. Or it's gonna be like, oh, I'm a general person. Oh, this WrestleMania thing's on and it's the Super Bowl. Like, you know, you're gonna go check it out. So I'm like iffy on that. I do also like, though, along with obviously NBC's backing, we're going to get more documentary type, like, funded stuff. Not to say, like, I love WWE 24s. I love the 365s. I love the other documentaries they put out there on the network since it's been a thing. Those have all been fantastic. I think with the funding, we can do more of those and we do them better. So, that's my thoughts on it. Papa Griff says, highly booty. Don't sell me a Pepsi and serve me a spring water. Totally understand that. Like, we'll have to kind of see once it finishes up, like, and everything gets transferred, how it works out, I guess. So, that's my thoughts on it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally cool. I think they're doing it because, you know, they're you know, multi-billion-dollar brand who, you know, is trying to protect that image. I don't like it. I think that, you know, I've never been a huge fan of changing history. You know, I mean, it happened. It was, you know, looking back in present, you know, with present lenses, it's you know, certain things are kind of like, oh boy, like what were they thinking? Like, you know, when you're looking, you know, but now it's kind of like, okay, you know, but they're gonna change it. I mean, I don't like it either. I kind of, you know, it kind of takes away from what we once saw and, you know, why it was there and stuff. But, you know, it is. I mean, I didn't pay them $1 billion either, so what am I gonna do? You know,
right?
You know, But
Papa Griff also.
I don't like
go
the.
ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
What's
that
Papa
was
Griff?
back on the match. So if you still got some Peacock wise, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the navigation. Navigation. How do you like that?
On the Xbox and PC, it's been fine. I know on the PS3 it was oof. It was rough.
Yeah.
So from what I've experienced
The
recently,
Roku's like okay. It's all right. I think I'm so used to the way it was organized before it. After they perfected it with the network, it's just kind of
gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't signed on.
I'm not in love with
I
it
haven't signed on yet to like the new Peacock stuff and like checked it there. But it will be soon, obviously for Mania, so I'll be interested to compare how it goes.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
So going back to the Reigns thing, Papa Griff asks, will they bring in the relative from MLW, Jacob Fatu, maybe to fight Reigns after? I don't know. No.
I wish.
Yeah.
Love Jacob
I don't know
Fatu.
the relationship with them, so.
Were they cousins?
No, I meant like company
brother?
to company. I don't know how friendly W.
Oh, yeah. No, I doubt it. I think, does he have a match with, whatchamacallit coming up? Oh, what's his face? I don't remember his name. I forgot. I'm looking at the guy and I can't remember. He's got a match coming up. I think Fatu, I could be wrong on this. This is all alleged. I think there's some sort of criminal history with him or something. I don't know that. I've never met the man, but from what I've heard on some other podcasts and so forth, I think there's some reason WWE has steered away from him. Yeah. Again, I don't know. He could be he could be one of the Santas, and, at the price chopper, but I don't know.
All right.
But that might be a reason. Yeah, I doubt it. I'd be surprised. Yeah. I wish. Right. Love Jacob Fatu. He's on. You ever see him wrestle?
No, I am not.
Oh yeah, you'd be in for a treat. Yeah, he's good.
All right. Okay. Well, I think that wraps up our Mania thoughts. Looking forward to it as always. It's going to be an interesting one, especially with Hogan and O'Neal hosting once again. I also forgot about that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't really mean anything to me, but whatever. So yeah, it's coming up on the 10th and 11th. So,
who would you have rather seen host?
I don't know if we even need a host, to be honest. Just go to the event.
That's right.
I think the only interesting host we had was New Day because we got the Hardys back. And that moment was awesome. And it was like, oh shit, New Day's just going to come out because they did the whole little tease with Kofi taking off his hat and they're all in their gear. And then, here they come. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Other than that, I don't feel like hosts have done all that much. Like we had Bliss host one year. Did she do anything besides like, hi, and we have attendance record? Like, yeah.
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 Yeah, I know. I don't know. Hey, he's a name.
True.
And whatchamacallit? What's his name?
Titus.
Titus, right?
Titus,
some
TV time.
He does some good work. Does some good work for the
absolutely.
community.
Yeah,
so,
I have nothing against Titus. It's just like it's a weird spot.
And Hogan's Hogan. So it is what it is. Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to topic 3, Steve. What is your topic?
Steve. Who is the Steve guy? Steve. No, I mean, so do you know like anything about UFC? Do you know?
The last I knew about UFC was an Xbox 360 game where Brock was on the cover, probably 06, 08, I don't know. It's been a while.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. Let me pull up the card real quick here. Let me see. So, like Nagano, Stipe, Miocic, do you know any of those guys?
None of those names are ringing a bell now.
Okay, here. So the answer to everything is going to be John Jones.
Okay.
Ready? Who's gonna show up or who's going to face the winner?
Logan Paul.
Wrong answer.
Whoever got punched out. Who was the guy who got punched out by the boxer?
Anything
I
but
would
him.
pay so much money to see Logan Paul get
I don't
punched
know if
out
it was Logan Paul or his brother or somebody fought a boxer for one of those stupid things and
by any.
got
I don't
knocked
care
out.
who punches him out. Somebody needs
Wasn't it like a Jake Paul?
Hey, Jake Paul. Yeah, it was Jake Paul.
That was it. Yeah.
both
yeah.
of them.
Dumbass.
Yeah, I know. Who are they? I actually
Dumbass
don't even really know who
YouTubers.
these guys are. YouTube? Okay.
Yeah, it's this
okay.
thing that's called
That's it?
YouTube
Yeah.
that Google owns. They have millions of
Oh,
millions of
man. Wow, yeah. I don't know. I those two, they're interesting. I don't know that much about them, obviously, but, you know, I'm not excited for them either way. You know, I'm not looking for either of these guys. Like, I think, which one? Logan Paul's facing Ben Askren? Coming up, I think there's a fight coming up that's, I mean, should be a disaster. I don't know. All right. Well, yeah, okay. I don't think we can go the UFC
Okay.
route then.
Well, Papa Griff chimes in for who will show up. He says Ronda, Jessamine, or Shayna.
That's awesome.
I mean, if you want to talk about UFC, we can talk about UFC. Totally up to you. If you want to geek out about the card tonight.
I know. I can't believe that's tonight. Can't believe it. I've been waiting for months for this, and I'm not buying it, but I'm just gonna like keep an eye on the
Gotcha.
results. It's like $69 now, I think, for the fight, and it's like another $5 a month for the ESPN Plus, something like that. You know, it's a bit. That's a it's a bit of an investment every time. You know, because they do one a month.
Oh,
you know?
okay. I was gonna
Usually,
ask,
like,
what's
one or
the
two a
like
month.
not turnaround? How frequency? Like, what's the frequency of UFC events? Because I know fights are like
They'll do
far in between. It seems.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah, the big ones. They'll do fight nights.
Oh, okay.
You know, like and usually those are free, like on ESPN Plus or whatever. Those are free.
Okay.
But you know that you have the other one, the like the UFC, the big pay-per-views. So like tonight's 260, and that one's it's got Ngannou and Stipe, and I just saw Sean O'Malley, who I think he's a training partner to Conor McGregor. I think he's fighting. He's fighting Tyson or Tyrone Woodley.
Okay.
Is fighting, but he's kind of on the tail end of his career, I think. So we'll kind of see where that goes. That's the co-main event.
Okay.
Well, I'll run through the main card at the top. So the prelims go up to what 9:59. Oh, so right about now. Prelims are just wrapping up. So the main card tonight is Jamie Malarkey and Karma Worthy. And to be fair, I don't know either of those guys either. Jillian Robertson and Miranda Maverick, Sean O'Malley and Thomas Almeida, Tyrone Woodley and Vincent Luque, and Stipe and Francis Ngannou. That's the one I really am interested in. Have you ever seen that? You ever see that meme that's been going around, probably about a year or two ago? The one where Francis Ngannou like does that uppercut and the guy goes like falling back. Did you ever see that?
I might have, yeah.
Yeah, that's him. That's Francis Ngannou, the one who did the punching. Yeah, I think he's got the record for the hardest punch in the Guinness Book of Records. I'm pretty sure he's up there. He's up. To say he's a hard hitter would be an understatement. But tonight might be his night. They had a match. They had a fight in the past, and I think it went to a decision. And Stipe won because I think he just tired Ngannou out. But I see this fight possibly going to the second round. Third round maybe because it's a 5 rounds. I think Stipe takes it again. Yeah, I think unless if Ngannou got his cardio, that he really worked on it. I think it's another Stipe night. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Let me think of another topic.
Okay.
Let me try. I don't know. You got anything?
Okay, I do have something. We're sticking with wrestling chat, so I hope you're interested in Locked and Loaded. So recently the NWA came back. For the attack. I did not see results. All I know is our girl Thunder Rosa lost to Camille, R.I.P. But makes sense. So what did you think of the back for the attack pay-per-view event on Sunday?
It was good.
Okay.
It was good. Not great. Not bad. I'd give like a thumbs up, but just
Okay.
up. I wouldn't like. I'm not excited about what I saw, but it was only $20 too, so I didn't I wasn't upset. Yeah. I thought Camille and Thunder was good. I think it kind of shows me that Thunder might be on her way out. I think her contract is expired in September.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think. So I think they might be in the process now of kind of building up other people.
Interesting.
Like Camille, getting her ready to, go against Serena Deeb. I just kind of got that feeling because she came off hot. I mean, she, after Wednesday with that unsanctioned match, she was on fire. And it was like to come in and then just lose. It was like...
Okay. I could definitely see how that you would, like, that could come off. My thought for that, like, obviously I didn't see the match. I don't know how it went against Camille. My thinking is, like, it's a continuation of storyline in a way to kind of all connect everything together. Like, Thunder's in this fucking hellacious match with Baker. We got tables, we got ladders, we got tacks, like, blood everywhere. Like, I don't know. I'm not a wrestler, obviously, but I've been pretty fucking tired, even after a few days and worn out. So I was kind of thinking maybe still wear and tear from that fight. Like, that could play that element into it. And based on what I heard from commentary saying, it seems like they kept bringing that up, like that she was in this big fight. So maybe just that's the continuation of that story, because Camille hasn't done anything, neither as many people, because of the pandemic. So maybe it's that.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm all for pushing Camille. I'm a huge fan of Camille. I like her. But, she's just a nice person. But I think Thunder Rosa is just too hot right now. And I think to build that brand awareness and get the NWA back in the,
where it should be.
The awareness in the realm, of wrestling, and, to build their name, I think you push Thunder Rosa right now as long as you
Makes
can,
sense.
Assuming she's sticking around, if she's not sticking around, I get it. But
makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was an interesting move. Interesting, Speaking of cats.
All right, so we had the ladies go. Do you remember the rest of the card or night, how it went?
I could pull it up real quick. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because I knew of that one, and I knew of the obviously the main title, but I'm not sure what else was going on. Presentation wise, what are they going with? Is it similar to a Impact where it's like no crowd and just the arena?
They had a little
crowd.
Did have
a little crowd. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't pipe in any noise, thankfully. I was happy about that.
All right, I got it.
It's kind of tough listening to. I was listening to Raw and SmackDown. I watched it on Hulu, but it's tough listening to that arena, like the piped in noise or whatever it was.
Okay. Any reason that it was like
it's kind of just sounds kind of I don't know. It's
fair
off.
enough.
Yeah, I don't know. At least with the camera. Okay, here we go. Okay. So we had Slice Boogie defeating Crimson, Jax, Dane, and Jordan Clearwater. It was a 4-way match. It was a good match. It was a good opener. There was nothing where, you're going to watch it and say, man, match of the night. But it was good. It served its purpose. Just get you kind of excited, get you started. It was a little more similar to like maybe an AEW style. But it was good. It was good. And then Tyrus defeated Kratos.
Okay.
Look these two up.
I know Tyrus because Brodus, Clay, obviously.
Yeah.
Kratos, I don't know. I'll have to check him out.
They're huge.
Oh, yeah? Big boys.
They're huge. I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at him, these two, and I'm like, whoa. Like, it reminds me of, like, just the 80s and 90s, with these giant, massive monsters coming in. Yeah. But unbelievable. If you get a chance, look those two up.
I'm looking at
I know
I'm looking
Brodus,
at Kratos right now. Yeah. Oof.
yeah. Huge. What's his height? Does it say what he is? I know one's like 6'8" or something.
He's 6'2".
Like
6'2", 286.
Oh, he's only 6'2"? Wow. Okay. And then here's
nice.
the next one. So
Elijah Burke's still doing stuff. Okay, good for him.
Yeah. So we got the Pope, Elijah Burke versus Tom.
Is he
Latimer.
still running the Pope character? Nice.
Yeah.
Oh shit! And here's
Oh,
Bram.
yeah.
Okay, so I was mixing it up early. Jackson Riker was not Bram. This is Bram. Okay. Who the fuck was Jackson
Okay.
Riker? Hold on. We gotta look that up now.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting some bullshit TV actor. Hold on. WWE Jackson Riker. Who were you in TNA? You were Gunner. Gunner was his name in TNA. My bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, okay. I'm glad for both of those guys. Burke. I liked Burke. I only saw him a little bit in WWE with around WrestleMania 23 time, and that ECW run. I liked him there. I know he was in TNA for a while or Impact doing some commentary after he did his Pope character. So I was like, oh, is he done wrestling? But glad to see that. And then Latimer, I'm glad to see that. He was actually in NXT years ago. I think I told you about my rewatch. He was originally part of the Ascension. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And then he had some troubles, unfortunately, had to go. But good for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. I think that went to a time limit draw. I think it did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me look real quick. Yeah, time limit draw. So then we already talked about Camila defeating Thunder Rosa. You know, we gave our thoughts on that. Trevor Murdoch defeated Chris Adonis.
It's Masterpiece. Okay. All right. Wow. I haven't seen those guys in a while. All right.
That was a good match. It was good. You know, it was funny seeing the contrast and, you know, body styles, and, you know, different, you know, but it was good. It was a good match. You know, I like Trevor. I think he retained. He retained. So, but it was a good match. It was good. You know, again, nothing that you're going to go home and that's going to be the match of the night, but it was good. It was good. It served its purpose, you know, the co-main event. And then Nick Aldis faced Aaron Stevens. And mind you, what I forgot to mention at the start of this was that the show was very heavily based around question mark.
Yeah. The pet.
Yeah, it was very, you know, from the start, it was like kind of a tribute almost, like throughout the night, you know, over and over again. And it was nice, you know, it really was. But you could tell this main event was heavily based around, you know, the passing of I forgot his real name. Oh, it's awful, but question mark, you know. And then that went what'd that go? 21 minutes, and then Nick Aldis defeated Aaron Stevens.
Nice.
You knew it was going to happen. You know, I would have been shocked if Aaron Stevens won, because it just wouldn't have made any sense. But it was really, you know, it was a good match. It really was, and you could tell Aaron Stevens worked his heart out, and you know they put on a pretty competitive, you know, show. But yeah, and it finished off strong. You know,
good.
It was a good thing. You know, the fans would have went home happy that night. You know, with that main event. And then they all came in the ring at the end of the night, and then, you know, kind of, you know, had like I don't know if it was like a moment of silence or whatever, but they, you know, kind of paid their respects, you know. I think they did the 10 bell salute for question marks.
Good.
So, but it was a nice show. It was a nice show.
Okay.
About 2 hours, not too long.
So do you think this is a good kickstart back into the NWA brand? I know they're relaunching essentially on Fight TV and not YouTube now.
Yeah. It's good. It's good they have a partner, you know, in Fight TV who wants to work with them and, you know, build them, help build them. I'm not a huge fan of Power.
Okay.
Having to be charged. It was like $4.99 a month or whatever. I'm not a huge proponent of that. But I get it, you know. It's hang on a second. Cat scratching, trying to grab the wire. I'm like, hey, buddy. I think when you're building, I think charging people right off the bat, I realize they have to cover costs and stuff, you know, but right now, just, you know, especially since they've been gone a year, it's kind of tough to just come back. Hey, come, you know, buy our product for $4.99 a month. Come on over, and, you know, but I get it. I get it. They do have to be, they do have to be soluble too. So
Yeah, my biggest question mark about that, well, with no pun intended, about that,
no pun intended.
My biggest question about that is like they wiped their YouTube library, if I'm not wrong, which seems odd to me. I mean, obviously it must be part of the deal with Fight, but like, I don't know. It was on my to-do list to eventually go back and look into it if we did our project, when we do our project together, like, because I know you and Samantha were big fans of that, so I wanted to kind of get more acquainted with it. But having that be wiped, like, I'm curious why they needed to do that or wanted to do that, because like once again, like you said, building off the point of like they gotta pay for our thing that we just came back for. You could use that YouTube platform obviously to show this is our track record. But then also, like, obviously AEW is all about social media, and it seems like a lot of companies are obviously now. And that's an important game, so why not use the YouTube as a facet to kind of advertise for yourself? Like, even if you're putting not put full current stuff on there, but you could if you want to do, like, a network, like how they do with Raw's, like, a month later on the network or whatever. But, like, you could put highlights or something on there. I don't know. It seems like an odd move to just cut that and wipe it all completely.
They could do something, I mean, just anything, even if they put like behind the scenes videos or something, or just like intro videos for like, hey, this is the story of Nick Aldis. This is the story of you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something just to kind of like a reference, sort of thing. Even, the thing we have to keep in mind too is they don't have the budget.
True.
They have Billy Corgan funding this, and those guys have deep pockets, so it's just but they could do something,
Yeah, I guess. Is there anybody on the roster personally that you're like looking forward to seeing again come back after obviously the break that we've had?
I would have said Rose, except she never left. She's she came back bigger. Aldis, I'm happy to see him back. I'm happy to see Camille back. I like Camille. I don't know what's going on with Melina. I think she just appeared.
She's managing somebody, isn't she?
She just met with Rosa. On she cut a promo with her, I think. Right. So they just did that. I haven't watched this week's Power for full transparency, ladies and gentlemen. I we'll see. But yeah, those are the ones I like. Nick Aldis, Camille. I like Latimer. I know he's had some issues, but I like him. Just got a good look to him, good style. I would have said Ricky Starks. Right. I would have said Eddie Kingston. I would have said all these guys. I don't know what's going on with Homicide. I don't know if he's sticking around, if he's done. I haven't
on
seen
the
him
Wikipedia page, it says he's a producer. I don't know how up to date this is, but yeah.
I'd be curious what your thoughts are too on commentary. I like Tim Storm.
Did they?
I think it was
change up the commentary.
Tim Storm
or no?
Yeah. Well, it's gone through different incarnations. They had it was Joe Galley, Cornette, and who was the third one? I forgot the third person when it first started. And then it kind of moved on, and then Cornette left, and then what's his face? Stu Bennett, Yeah, but now he's in NXT, so that's pretty much exactly. So they're kind of playing around with it. They just had oh gosh, what's her
Velvet
name?
Sky. Or Taryn Terrell.
Which
Velvet
one?
Sky or Taryn?
Yeah. Oh, they just had her on commentary.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Taryn.
No, it was interesting. I think it was during the women's match.
Okay.
The Camille and Thunder. It was just. I recall she was a decent wrestler, right?
She was GM at ECW for like a hot second. I know she was in TNA. I don't think I watched at that time. I don't know, but I know she's also had issues.
Yeah. But the commentary was a bit rough. Yeah, it was a bit rough. It was a bit rough for me, Doug.
Yeah, looking through this roster, it's not that big of a roster, at least. I mean, once again, if this page is to be believed. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. I'm glad to see Darren Young's doing something. I know he's working in New Japan also, but glad to see he's there. Yeah. Fred Rosser, yeah. There's a lot of other guys here I don't recognize, but yeah, hopefully it just continues to grow. Obviously, it's can't go anywhere but up from here, I guess. But glad to see it's back. Yeah. Hopefully, get some traction there, and if the partnership, obviously, between AEW and them continues, obviously, Serena Deeb's over there and signed with AEW, and then, like we talked about, Rose has kind of been working there. We don't know contract-wise how that's going to go in the future, but hopefully they can keep that relationship going. And it seems like they've had it for a while, too, even with OG all in, Aldis and Rhodes going out and stuff like that. So that'd be probably their best move, to use AEW platform to kind of help boost them also.
Yeah. What do you think we'll ever see a Cody Aldis 3?
I don't know. I don't see why not. I've only seen the All In one. But yeah, I don't see why not, especially if we're doing this open door, a relationship thing with people, then I don't know. Yeah. You'd have to figure out a story there. I think they're both faces, not that they weren't both faces in the past, so maybe that just deters from what I was going with. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh no. Aldis is in theory.
Okay, interesting.
In theory, yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know. Rose got a lot going on right now, so I don't know if he's got necessarily the time.
Oh boy, does she? Does she ever? Oh man.
So,
what do you think of that unsanctioned match?
I haven't watched it yet. But from seeing what highlights and stuff, man, that was good. Good on them.
Yeah. Get a chance if you get a chance. I know you're busy, but try to watch it. It's a good one. Yeah, I think it's on YouTube. I could be wrong, but
if not, I'll have to check the cable and just kind of do the rerun there or whatever.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know. Any closing thoughts on NWA and where you hope they go from here, I guess?
I hope they go up. I just hope they work together with the, companies that have the tools necessary to succeed, and, but they don't lose their individuality, at the same time, what makes them special, it'll be interesting to see who shows up, and who goes other places, and, will Kenny Omega show up after, assuming he beats Rich Swann?
Well, it's title for title, so I think that's kind of foregone conclusion, if I'm being honest. Sorry, Swann, but...
Totally. Agreed. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But then does he show up on NWA Power? And I want your belt, with the belt with all the history, the belt Flair and Dusty held, or, does he go to Japan? It'll be interesting, But yeah, NWA, it's going to be interesting, It's going to be interesting. The word of the night is interesting.
And it will be.
Yep.
Well, everybody, this has been another episode of the Wait What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Bret, a.k.a. Enigma911, and today I was joined by Steve, a.k.a. Supermander27. Steve, thanks for hopping on. Once again, I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
It was a good conversation, especially last minute, but always good to talk wrestling with you. And
all good.
A lot of back and forth, which is good. If you guys want to catch the podcast live, you can go over to twitch.tv/Enigma911 every other Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we talk with you guys in the chat. If you're subs, chat along with us and join in on the conversation. We'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, it's put over on YouTube and SoundCloud the following week, where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video in MP3 the following Friday. And last but not least, #ad merch store. You can get all of your swag over there: t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us. It would be greatly appreciated. Steve, thank you for joining the podcast once again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Viewers, listeners, watchers, whoever you are, thanks for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.